Our next presenter is Ken Hilty. This is a program that there's a risk management organization that manages risks for a lot of the counties, but they perform a lot of very valuable functions in that capacity, and we wanted them to present on one that talked about some training for law enforcement.
My name is Ken Hilty. I'm with the County Risk Sharing Authority. I've been with them for about 6.5 years. Prior to that, I was a deputy sheriff in Hardin County in west central Ohio for 30 years. Retired as chief deputy there in 2010 and went to work for County Risk Sharing Authority at that time. Just briefly, some of you may be familiar with CORSA, as it's known by acronym, and some of you may not. And CORSA does stand for County Risk Sharing Authority. We are under the umbrella, so to speak, of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. And our main office is located here downtown on East State Street in Columbus. I am part of the loss control risk management team with CORSA. There are 3 of us in that unit, and we actually live in regional areas. I still reside in Hardin County and do my traveling for CORSA and visit with, and my job is primarily with 65 county sheriffs. CORSA has 65 of Ohio's 88 counties within their family. What that means is while the County Commissioners Association certainly has all 88 counties, we are a liability carrier provider. We handle litigation, claim services, losses. We work with policy, and we work with training. And I know that the big thing for me here in my presentation is going to be to discuss the training. So I did want to just kind of touch a little bit on what we are. When I started, we had 62 counties. We've added 3 since then. When CORSA started 30 years ago, they started with 9 counties. So they've come quite a long way, and we have nearly 75% of the counties in Ohio, just one shy of that. And they range in size from population. Butler County in southwest Ohio is the largest member of the CORSA family. And we have several of the counties in southeast Ohio which are 20,000 or less. So I see an eclectic group of sheriffs, jails, and facilities that I visit throughout my duties. One of the things that we really wanted to kind of hit on here a little bit today, as we said, was the training. And that was one of the things that I was brought in to do, was try to increase the trainings that we have here in Ohio. Now, it is free to the CORSA member counties. Anything CORSA puts out or does is free to our member counties. However, we do not exclude the other 23 counties, or sometimes we've even had municipalities at some of our trainings because of the fact that they are working in conjunction with the county sheriff on some of the things that we are training on. We charge very nominally to non-CORSA member counties for our trainings, and we've actually done some where we haven't charged anybody at all. Last year we had the privilege of conducting several brief classes with NAMI, designed at our corrections level to help our corrections officers at intake maybe start to recognize signs, symptoms, and red flags of individuals who were either at risk for hurting themselves or having some type of mental health issues that they are living with. And as it's been mentioned several times up here already, law enforcement and corrections personnel are not generally experts in the field of mental health, so they appreciate all the help we can get. One of our first presenter today, just about Peg Morrison, I had the privilege of having her do those classes, and I was with her. She did an excellent job. They were very well received. Unfortunately, this year, we were not able to get those classes put together, but I'm hoping to resurrect them again, or at least in some form, something of them, next year. And rest assured, we will open those up, and certainly, just because your county might not be a member of CORSA doesn't mean you cannot send staff to some of these things. I love having them there. And we also kind of look at that, I guess, also as a marketing tool for counties to go back and say, hey, that's a pretty good thing. How do we get in on that more? So that's just a little bit about what we do with training that way. We also provide policy. Back in the mid-2000s, I was part of the original Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Best Practice Policy Committee that was formed here in Ohio. There were about 5 or 6 of us from around the state and sheriff's offices that were on that. We developed a model template policy for law enforcement and corrections, which is available and free and provided all 65 of our CORSA counties. I actually have 6 counties who do not belong to CORSA, but they have actually purchased the best practice policy models. They purchased that for one original price, and that entitles them to all updates, revisions, or any policy changes that may come down the line as well, and at no additional cost. So again, as you see, even though they may not be necessarily members to us, we certainly try to be as helpful as we can to them. Our trainings have consisted of seminars, one-day sessions normally. We were doing regional seminars in law enforcement and corrections. I am really focusing a lot more right now on the corrections end, as law enforcement is taking a little different approach with the continued professional training through the Ohio the Ohio Peace Officers Training Commission, excuse me, and we're trying to help with that still, but right now I'm focusing a lot more on corrections, and mental health is certainly one of the areas that we're looking at. I had my very first seminar I did for CORSA. I had a gentleman by the name of Rob Cipriano, based out of Florida, who was a retired Miami police officer and a police psychologist, actually came up and did those 4 sessions for us. We do them regionally in each of the 4 quadrants of the state, 1 day in each, same presentation. We've had other things done in corrections, and it's my goal to try and get Rob back again if I can, or someone of his ilk, to come in and do another one of these sessions for us very soon. We also have expanded our online training capacities with our member counties so that they can actually take advantage of that. As you know, online training may not always be as good as having somebody right up in front of you, but it's a free system, and it's available within the office 24/7, so staff can basically get some of that done anytime they're working. And one thing that I am careful about saying is using the term free. I realize that while we're not charging for this, and many times when people attend our classes, the entity may still be responsible for covering their shifts and filling in for them at possibly overtime or something like that. So anything we can do to help provide the training and either eliminate cost or significantly reduce cost, we are certainly in favor of. I guess the other thing is something that I learned years ago, and many of you in here are probably aware of this, but I sat on the Marion Hardin Multi-County Jail Commission for 9 years, 8 years as the proxy for the sheriff, my last year before I retired as proxy for our common pleas court judge, and I usually attended almost all the meetings. And we learned during that 9-year period that a jail can actually save some money on inmate medical costs by going through Medicaid for inmates who've been hospitalized for at least 24 hours. I was just at the Marion Hardin Jail the day before yesterday, and I was speaking with the director, Dale Osborne, and Dale and I go back a ways, and we were talking about that, and he told me, he said, it's been a great thing for us. He said, we'll get a $10,000, $11,000 hospital bill, get the Medicaid paperwork done on it, and maybe end up paying $800, $1,200, $1,500. So that's a significant savings. I don't have anything to do with it, just kind of, it's there. And I can't necessarily tell you all of the internal workings of it because I really don't know. But it's certainly worth a look-see for you as another cost-saving measure. One other thing that was brought up, and it's on the catchphrase on the paper there, is CIT, Crisis Intervention Training. We are very, very big on seeing our sheriffs and our correctional facilities get involved in crisis intervention training. There's a great program. I would like to see us be able to maybe get a little more involved in that in the future. It's us from the outside in. I never went through it during my career. I actually went through it when I started with CORSA. I took it in 2011 through the Delaware-Morrow County unit, and I thought it was an excellent week, well worth it. There were 17 of us in there. Of course, I was a little different situation than the other 16 being retired, but nonetheless, it was a very good training and experience. I have counties that are sending people here, there, and everywhere, and of course, there's really no cost to that itself, and I believe they're actually touching on it a little bit now in the basic training academies as well. I really don't know how much so, but crisis intervention training is truly an excellent program. And it does work. And I've got some smaller counties in southern Ohio that are actually sending 2 and 3 people at a time, as they can, to a local community college or something to get that 32 to 40 hours worth of training in. The sheriffs are very much happy about being able to do that. And if there's anything we can do to help support that or further that along, we are all for it.